If you want to sell your Burlington home fast, the smartest first move might be to wait 48 hours. Not 48 weeks, not wait for spring, just a simple 48 hours. Because if your current plan is to clean a few things up, pick a number you like, throw it online, and hope the market loves it, then that's exactly how you turn a good home into a slow sale. Here's what I mean. You decide you're selling, okay? Now your head starts spinning, you start preparing, you start thinking, should I paint? Should I stage? Should I replace the light fixtures? Should I price high and leave some room? Should I price it low and create energy and action? Should I list it next week, wait 3 weeks? Should I wait a bit longer? And the second you start stacking all these decisions on top of each other without a strategy, you're no longer building any momentum, you're building confusion. And confusion hurts you massively. Confusion leads to homes sitting on the market. That's the truth that nobody's going to tell you. Homes do not slow down only because the market's bad. They slow down, the sale slows down because the launch of the home to the market is cloudy. It's not strategically done. So let me show you what actually makes a home move fast. And there's really four decisions that matter most. Not 24, just 4. Decision 1 is pick the buyer before you pick the plan. Right? This is where a lot of people blow it. You don't sell a home to the market, you sell a home to a specific type of buyer. Right? It's a young family, it's a move-up buyer, it's a downsizer, it's a luxury buyer, an investor, someone who wants turnkey, someone who wants upside. If you do not know who should want to buy your home the most, then everything after that, every decision after that is going to get weaker. Your photos are going to be generic. Your preparation is going to be random. Your pricing is going to be cloudy and not strategic. Your messaging to the market says nothing. Right? You end up trying to appeal to just everyone. And when you market to everyone, you pull no one in hard. Right? So before you touch the house, ask yourself this: who is the buyer most likely to move quickly into this home? That question alone could save you a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of money, and a lot of bad decisions. Right? Decision 2 is fix the trust breakers in the home, not everything. So you don't need to improve every part of the home. Right? You need to remove the key things that makes buyers nervous or loses trust with them. It's a huge difference. A buyer does not care equally about everything. They care about what breaks the confidence in their ability to act. Right? So things like a bad odor, something obviously neglected, a really dark room, heavy clutter, visible, obvious maintenance issues, a room that feels really awkward or chaotic. Those things generally slow people down. But a lot of sellers waste money fixing things that don't matter at all and don't create any speed. You don't need to get a faster sale because you spent 3 weekends fussing around with low value cosmetic things. You get a faster sale when you have a buyer walk in, they feel safe, clear, confident, and ready. It's not about perfection, it's about building that confidence. So stop asking what else can I do or what else needs to be fixed. Just start asking, what would a buyer hesitate on in this house? Then go fix that and move on. Decision 3 is price the property for movement, not for ego. This is one that a lot of people have trouble hearing, but the market does not care what number makes you feel good, what your mortgage value is, what you spent on the property. It cares whether the price makes sense for the market of today, and they care about that only. There's a huge difference between pricing to impress yourself and pricing to create actual movement from buyers. You don't want buyers standing around discussing whether your number is fair or makes sense. You want them leaning into it. You want them thinking, this is worth seeing right now because this is a great price for a great property. That doesn't mean underpricing. Right? It means strategic pricing. It means a strong price. Well, a strong price does one thing. And it does one thing really well. It makes the right buyer act before they can even think about delaying things. Right? That's the game. You want them acting fast. Because the moment the market starts feeling like your home is lingering or sitting around waiting, your leverage starts to leak. Right? Once that starts, sellers often do the worst thing is they get very reactive. And now you're sitting there cutting the price from a point of weakness instead of creating confidence and movement up front with strength. Completely different energy, completely different outcome. Decision 4 is choreograph week 1. This is where fast sales are usually won. It's not at the open house, not upon signing, it's not when the first offer comes in. They're won in that whole first week or sometimes the first month, depending on the market and the type of home. But that first segment of being on the market, how does that hit? How does the listing hit with clarity? Do the photos pull in the right people? Does the price create action? Does the home show nice and clean? Does the story make sense instantly to the right buyers? Because when you nail that first segment, that's where the market really decides whether your home matters or it doesn't. And that's where sloppy launches to the market are deadly. The first wave sees everything. And that first wave is if they're underwhelmed or they're confused or they're hesitating, then the listing's going to start losing action before you even know that there's a problem. And this is why that just list it and see approach is such terrible advice. You don't see it, you choreograph it, right? You decide how the home enters the market. You decide what gets emphasized and talked about the most. You decide what gets softened and doesn't get talked about. You decide what the buyer is meant to feel, what they're meant to see, how they're meant to feel when they go into the property or see it online. That's where the strategy is. So let me give you the simplest version of all this. If you want your Burlington home to sell faster, here's what you need to do. First of all, pick the buyer. Second, fix the trust breakers in the property. Price it for movement and action, and win the first segment of being on the market. That's the stuff. That's the game. That's the real system. It's not random preparation or panic cleaning or 10 different opinions from friends and neighbors who don't have a clue what's going on and they're not writing the check for this property. So when you do this right, the sale is going to feel lighter, smoother, more fun. It's not because it's magical or anything crazy, but it's because the home just makes sense. And buyers understand it. Market's going to respond to it. The process now has a direction, a clear path. And that's what speed looks like. That's what a nice, smooth, simple, fast sale looks like. It's not chaos, no rushing around, no noise. It's just clear, systematic strategy. And if you're sitting there right now thinking, I know I want to sell, but I don't want to screw up the first move, then good. That's the right instinct. That's where you need to sit, wait around, and that's where you need to start making the first move because that's where everything gets shaped from. So if you're thinking about selling your Burlington home, then there's a link below and he'll help you figure out what your first real buyer is, what those first steps look like, what those decisions are like, and what actually matters before you go launching this onto the market. And what's going to give you the best chance at a faster, cleaner, best money type of sale.